The Phoenix Suns ultimately went with the Houston Rockets over the Miami Heat's offer for Kevin Durant because it was the best deal put on the table. According to ESPN's Shams Charania, the Heat failed to surpass or even match the Rockets' offer in terms of draft capital and a young player. The Suns' trade conversations focused on the Rockets and Heat in recent days, but both teams showed an unwillingness to part with young cornerstones such as Jabari Smith Jr. and Reed Shepherd, Houston, and Kel'el Ware, Miami, in a Durant deal, sources said. The Heat made multiple offers for Durant but ultimately turned down the opportunity to place Jamie Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic, Haywood Highsmith, the number 20 pick, and other draft assets in a deal, sources said. Charania wrote. The Rockets ultimately landed Durant with a package consisting of recent former number 2 pick Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, this year's 10th pick in the draft, and 5 second-round picks. The Suns got a rising star in Green, a high-impact player on Brooks, and this year's 10th overall pick, which is 10 picks higher than what the Heat offered. Plus, they also got a haul of second-round picks, which could come in handy when they attempt to unload unwanted salaries to get under the second apron. Heat's underwhelming final offer. Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald reported that the Heat's final offer was Andrew Wiggins, Terry Rozier, 2 bench players, Jaquez and Smith, and this year's 20th pick. Jackson added the Heat declined to include Ware but also did not offer Jovic. The Heat, though, offered to take back an unwanted salary from the Suns to make up for the lack of draft capital or young talent. But the Suns were not interested in luxury tax relief at this point. In fact, the Suns went deeper into the second apron after trading Durant to the Rockets. Phoenix remains on the second apron with $230 million on payroll, well above the $207.8 million second apron threshold. The Heat had 3 tradable first-round picks and 2 second-round picks, but they only included 1 first-rounder in their final offer. In the end, the Suns got the best deal under dire circumstances, Durant on an expiring contract and the leaked preferred team destinations. Suns to keep Jalen Green. Contrary to speculations that the Suns will rear out Green, they aren't and intend to keep him, according to John Gambadoro of Arizona Sports, who foreshadowed the Durant trade a few hours before ESPN's Shams Charania broke the news. The Suns do not plan to trade Jalen Green, Gambadoro reported on X following the trade. He is expected to play alongside Devin Booker in the backcourt. Questions surrounding Green's future in Phoenix came about after multiple reports pointed to the Suns exploring his trade market leading up to the deal. The Suns did their due diligence on Green, according to Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype. Phoenix has done background on Green to gauge his value around the league in case Green is acquired, and it's worthwhile to flip him again via trade, league sources told Hoops Hype. Scotto wrote on June 16th. Clutchpoint's Brett Siegel reported on Friday, June 20th, that the Suns have made no progress on Green's trade market, which could be the reason they are keeping him for now. Nevertheless, the Suns have to make another move as the trade brings them logjam at the backcourt and wings with Booker, Green, Bradley Beal, Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen, Ryan Dunn, and Cody Martin. As NFL training camp approaches, speculation around one of the league's most dynamic defenders is beginning to ignite once again. Cornerback Jalen Ramsey, currently with the Miami Dolphins, is at the center of trade rumors that suggest a potential return to the West Coast and possibly to the team that helped define his legacy as one of the game's elite defenders, the Los Angeles Rams. Jalen Ramsey trade rumors heat up. Could a Rams reunion happen? The buzz is heating up once again by ESPN insider Adam Schefter during an appearance on the Pat McAfee Show. I think he would like to go to the West Coast to Los Angeles. Rams, Chargers, somewhere like that, Schefter stated. That comment, coupled with reporting from ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler that named the Rams as a team on Ramsey's radar, has fans and analysts on high alert. A reunion with Sean McVay's squad, on paper, seems to make sense, especially considering the current state of the Rams' secondary. Right now, Los Angeles is set to enter training camp with Darius Williams and Ahkello Witherspoon as their top 2 cornerbacks. While both are capable veterans, neither possesses the elite playmaking ability or intimidation that Ramsey brings. Reuniting with the 7-time Pro Bowler and 3-time first-team All-Pro would immediately elevate the defense. However, there are real barriers in place. McVay was very transparent when asked about the possibility of bringing Ramsey back, hinting that logistical and financial hurdles stand in the way. Definitely don't want to rule anything out because we're always open-minded to onboarding and acquiring quality players and people like him if we're able to do that, but there would be some obstacles that are real that are in place of maybe preventing that from occurring, McVay said per Stu Jackson. Roadblocks preventing a potential Ramsey trade. The most significant obstacle is money. Ramsey is due $21.1 million next season, with $20 million guaranteed. The Rams have roughly $22.5 million in projected cap space in 2025, per Spotrac, leaving them with little room to absorb such a hefty contract unless Miami agrees to cover a portion of the salary. The Dolphins, though, haven't shown a willingness to do that. According to Fowler, Miami has been reluctant to take on any of Ramsey's salary to facilitate a trade. Another wild card is the Los Angeles Chargers, who have more cap flexibility, projected $28 million for 2025, but with less need than the Rams. With second-year CBs Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart having terrific rookie campaigns and the team bringing in Dante Jackson, adding a veteran like Ramsey would be a luxury, not a necessity, especially as the Chargers have a dilemma in contract negotiations with star left tackle Rashawn Slater. That leaves the Rams as the more logical landing spot, if the money can be worked out. The next few weeks will be telling. If Ramsey isn't dealt before Dolphins training camp begins in July, tensions could escalate. But if Miami shows a willingness to eat part of his salary, and the Rams view this as a necessary move to shore up the secondary, the door is wide open for a blockbuster return. But for now, it's a waiting game. With the Miami Heat preparing for the NBA draft with the first round on Wednesday, there are no doubt many fans who have their picks on who the team should select. While the Heat look to avoid making a mistake in the NBA draft, the team's recent selections have been anything but that, as the latest report connects a college player staying in-state. ClutchPoints NBA insider Brett Siegel would have Miami taking the University of Florida's Walter Clayton Jr. with the 20th overall pick after the guard led his program to a national title. Especially after missing out on trading for Kevin Durant, the team does need another scoring threat and a point guard, which Clayton fills in. Plus, Siegel would report that the Heat picking the Gator has gained momentum among league personnel. The Miami Heat are said to be valuing experienced prospects in the 2025 NBA draft that can provide an instant impact on the court rather than youthful projects with long-term upside, Siegel wrote. As a result, Walter Clayton Jr., who just led Florida to a national championship, can become the Heat's point guard next to Tyler Herro in the backcourt. After missing out on trading for Durant, Miami needs to prioritize finding scoring threats next to Herro and Bam Adebayo, Siegel continued. Outside of Herro, the Heat don't have other lead playmakers in their backcourt, which makes Clayton a high-upside pick for Pat Riley. Clayton to Miami has gained momentum among league personnel in recent days. Walter Clayton Jr. fits what the Heat needs. After the Heat wasn't able to land Durant, as mentioned before, the team could look to the draft in building a foundation from their other first-round picks that have been successful. With the main duo of Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro leading Miami, other first-round picks such as last year's Kel'el Ware, Jamie Jaquez Jr. and Nikola Jovic figure to be a big part next season, with Clayton's traits likely to fit in nicely. Clayton is a dynamic scorer and finisher with the ball in his hands who doesn't back down from a challenge, Siegel wrote. He may be listed at 6'2", but Clayton never shies away from contact and proved to be one of the best perimeter players off the dribble in the draft when he led the Gators to a title. At any rate, Miami is looking to improve after finishing with a 37-45 record, which put them 10th in the Eastern Conference before they were swept by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round of the NBA playoffs.